Well, hello, Crime Stoppers. Oh, check the cool reflection. It's Christmas Eve, and lots of stuff going on. Holy cow! Go back and watch this at 2 times speed. So much to talk about, and run out of time for this year. So all those, it's going to be a big week, and lots of stuff's going to happen, and people are going to get arrested. Never happened, did it? Or maybe it did, and we just didn't hear about it. That could be the case, but more than likely, nothing happened. Let's see here. Got some show and tell. This is the haritaki I was talking about. Um, it is not delicious, but go read up on this. Just go put that into a search engine. Even Mama Google will show you. There is all kind of fun stuff that this thing takes care of. Between this and Shibambu, you're good. And of course, certain people don't want you to know that. This one right here, oh my goodness, find out about this. This is Jayugalan, however you say it. It's a gynostemma. Better than ginseng. Has more stuff in it than ginseng. Anyway, go look it up. I'll put links, of course, below. Let's see here. Oh, this is just for fun. Everybody knows what this is, but just got some just for the fun of it for the new year. It's delicious yerba mate from Argentina. Okay. Yeah, my teeth are messed up, so it makes me sound like I'm lisping, and it's annoying. I got to get that fixed. All right, talk about this a little bit. This one right here, like I said, lots of interesting information in here. And here's a fun thing. Let me just read you this. One fast one. Let's see if I can find it quickly and easily. Because, of course, YouTube removed yet another video of mine. There. Anything that has to do with this thing right here, they're going to remove you. Here, I'll just read it to you real quick. Oops. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do this. There you go. Okay. It's a little notice from YouTube. Hey, we removed another one of your videos. You naughty puss and you. Free speech. This is why the founding fathers were so intent on free speech, and they put it first. And then they put the Second Amendment in there. But the first one was being able to speak freely. Okay. Hi there, 100th Monkey. Being all friendly. Hi, 100th Monkey. We wanted to let you know our team reviewed your content. It was a bot, and we think it violates our medical misinformation policy. We know you may not have realized that this is a violation of our policies, so we're not applying a strike to your channel. We just are taking anything that has to do with vaccines, and I said it out loud, vaccines down. If you say anything that could be any way construed as going against the World Health Organization. Anyway, we know you may not have realized that this was a violation of our policies, so we're not applying a strike to your channel. However, we removed the following content from YouTube. Sunday School 3A. I think that was because I made so many takes. Let's see here. Time occurred. You can see an example at 1:37:57 in your video, but when you click the link, it doesn't take you to the video anymore because I took the video down. While this is one example, there may be other instances. We realize this may be disappointing news, but it's our job to make sure that YouTube is a safe place for all. And it's my job to make sure that you guys get sued into oblivion for violating the First Amendment of the Constitution. You are, in fact, chartered by the United States, and you can't go against the United States Constitution, privately owned, whatever. Oh, that doesn't apply to us. You're chartered by the United States. So the United States should pull the fucking charter. Simple as that. And make it a town square. If you think we made a mistake, you can appeal the decision, but you know it won't matter. So you better take us to court instead. But the courts are completely stacked. So what are you going to do? I think we're going to have to inform the military. You'll find some more details below. What our policy says. YouTube doesn't allow content that poses a serious risk of egregious harm by spreading medical misinformation about currently administered administered vaccines that are approved and confirmed to be safe and effective by the local health authorities and by the World Health Organization. Learn more here. That line right there is gonna send them to the gallows. That were approved and confirmed to be safe and effective by local health authorities. Which local health authorities? And when did the World Health Organization? Anyway, that's gonna be fun. A little later. Well, we'll take care of that a little later. Okay, thanks for the like. What is it? I have one student that always says like and subscribe. Anyway, so give me a like. And thanks for watching. Like I said, it's Christmas Eve, so tomorrow there's going to be, I don't know about how you guys do it, but Christmas dinner. And then there's Christmas Day. I'm actually going to be having some fun times with little kids playing math on Christmas Day. Let's see here. What was another thing I wanted to bring up in this video? Is it this one? Oops, that page can't be found. Now I'm not actually going to share that with you because they'll actually go back and scrub it off the Wayback Machine. But it was a page that was talking about going that, how shall I put it? That HJR 192, referencing that in your paperwork is going to flag you because they're going to say that, oh, this is a person that has not done enough research because 192 was repealed. It's still the idea that there is no fucking money in the 1933 Emergency Banking Act made it so that we don't have any money, and they removed the gold from the pockets of the peasants. See, we'll get into this in just a second. But here's what happened. I woke up and I woke up and in this place, and it turns out I'm a slave. I thought I was free all this time. Turns out not. Anyway, here's my Dun & Bradstreet research. State of Hawaii. Let's see here. Doing business as, go look it up on Dun & Bradstreet. The state of Hawaii. Actually, it's not even the state of Hawaii. It's just state of Hawaii. And it may be ampersand state of Hawaii. So it's and state of Hawaii. But I think it's just state of Hawaii. I think that's just like a little logo thing. But anyway, state of Hawaii. That's a business. It has a DUNS number. I can tell you the DUNS number. But I've told it to you numerous times before. You can look them up yourself. But state of Hawaii does business as Hawaii Employer Union. Okay, Hawaii Employer Union. And employer union is hyphenated. So employer and union is hyphenated. Health Benefits Trust Fund. I can't put a link to this. Could probably take some screenshots, but then it's impossible to show them to you. Unless I make it my cover photo for this thing. But anyway, overview. Doing business as Hawaii Employer Union Health Benefits Trust Fund. That's what state of Hawaii is. It's the Hawaii Employer Union Health Benefits Trust Fund. Who's the key principal? Josh Green. Is there another state of Hawaii I should be looking up? Or is there just one state of Hawaii? Let's see here. Company description. That's locked. You have to get a little. What do? They pretend that they're a government. That's what they do. Key principal, Josh Green. Industry, executive, legislative, and other general government support. Public administration, executive offices. Didn't know these were industries, but according to Dun & Bradstreet, see other industries within the Pacific Administration sector. Administration of economic programs, administration of environmental quality programs, etc. And you get all these links you can click. Let's see here. Year started is locked. Revenue is locked. Fiscal year end is locked. I believe it's October 31st, though. Employees locked. Let's see here. The website is... Get out of the way. There you go. The website is this pop-up window showed up. Portal.ehawaii.gov is the state of Hawaii website. So when you're in a courtroom, ask them, because, it's the state of Hawaii versus the defendant. Could someone point to the defendant? Could someone point to the state of Hawaii? I knew these things and I never got a chance to ask because everything always happens so fast. And my best appearances, the best things I did didn't make it on the video. So there's only transcripts. But the idea is, my friends. All right, so let's. Where did I wake up? I woke up on a slave plantation. A slave plantation. Let's see here. I had some other show and tell items. Okay, anyway, this slave plantation, the whole thing, not just United States, the whole freaking thing. See, these evil ones, these Crown Corp people, the Crown Corporation started is the Triple Crown. This is what we mean when we talk about the Triple Crown. Look at their crowns, and their crowns all have 3 crowns. The Pope, the Queen of England when she wears her special crown, and nobody wears a crown in the United States. But one of those crowns is DC, District of Columbia. Okay, Vatican, goddess of the underworld. I mean, the city, the Vatican City. They apparently founded this corporation in 1871, and we've got these all these owners of this corporation, and the owners of the corporation are not well known to us. Let's put it that way. Who owns this corporation? Might be right now the King of England and a bunch of other people whose names are muddied. They also own the Central Bank of Central Banks, which is the Bank of International Settlements, but the Federal Reserve. Anyway, back in 1871, and see, this is the thing. These guys have these plans wherein if it takes them 100 years or 700 years or 1,000 years for their plans to go into place, they've got plans that are like that long. Whereas, we don't think past a generation. We forgot that they pulled this same shit back in 1920 and 21. And they're about to pull another. Their playbook is limited, to say the least. But they use their limited playbook against us effectively because they use it in combinations. I've talked about this before. So they're using, because it looks like possibly, hold on a second, could I do this? I don't know how I'm going to do it. I have this whiteboard right here, but I don't know how I'm going to write on it. Shucks. Anyway, so I might have to use pieces of paper because, again, most of the crawlers that they have here do it via the sound, not via they're not really good at identifying, stuff like this when I write stuff like this. So anyway, so to be able to use a card like this just to put one concept up or one word that I can't use so the crawler doesn't pick it up and then remove my videos. But like I said, this channel, they're taking videos down left and right on this channel. So yeah, the whole thing about how I'm supposed to be, if you're still on YouTube, you're one of them. There's a bunch of us that will not leave the battlefield because it's a maxim of law. He who leaves the battlefield first loses. And they want us off the battlefield. They want just pablum here. And then, they'll censor the rest of us. But there's very few people left. And it's amazing to me that some of the people that are still on, actually, what are they doing that allows them to stay on? Anyway, Nino's Corner had some interesting information. And it's looking like you should, however much ammo you have, if you're in the 48, especially if you're on the lower, on the southern border, double your ammo. I'm not even fucking around slightly. And double your amount of survival food because it looks like things are going to go south, and they're going to go south next year. I'm all over the place as usual. Okay, so actually it's more than that. It's actually interesting. This number actually 177. This is like a number of justice. how to explain it. But basically, these are like magic numbers. Anyway, that just happens to be the number of people on this that's supposed to be released here shortly. Dun, dun, dun. And from what I understand, there are some people that are actually freaking out. Like they're having actual meltdowns. They know their name is going to appear. Now, here it's interesting because there's multiple conspiracy theories about this. And it does have to do and tie together with this whole thing, this whole menagerie, this whole fact that we are bonded freemen. Part of the way we remain bonded freemen is because of guys like this blackmailing anybody that would do anything about it. Like I said, back in 1871, a lot of people knew this information and what it meant to the average American, that you weren't, in fact, a U.S. citizen, but you naturalized yourself because you can naturalize yourself by any means whatsoever. Says it right there in their code. So if you say you're a U.S. citizen, then you're a U.S. citizen. Well, me personally, after doing some research, I figured out that they have jurisdiction over the allegiance, over the created person, the thing that they created with your birth certificate. Mine has a birth date 5 days after my actual birth date. And then you should know the difference between an E and a I when it comes to birthing. But the idea being is that I am the source. I am none of this documents, none of this name stealing, none of this would have happened had I not been born. Hey, look. People stay writing stuff over here. Hi. Anyway, the idea being is that you are not that person. There are two separate persons there. One is a man, which they have no jurisdiction over, and one is, oh, look, you can tell I'm using a laptop, and look, there's my extra drive. And anyway, the point being is that they claim jurisdiction over you if you're so confused that you don't know your name and you don't know the difference between the living man and the juristic entity. Now, even when you figure out that you woke up in Slavelandia, and it's the whole thing is programming. You'll wake up and you'll see it everywhere because the saying goes that symbol rules the world. See that symbol right there? That symbol tells a story, a whole story about the Grim Reaper and about all kind of stuff, just with that one little symbol. The fact that they poison you, and then when you get sick, they sell you a little more poison. That's the two snakes. Okay. See, like I said, I'm trying these pauses. That's why you want to go back and watch it on 2x speed. That's me trying not to get kicked off of YouTube. And not doing a very good job at the rate they're removing the videos that I've put up. Anyhow, so and trying to keep a train of thought. But the idea is that, okay, so they started this whole corporation and they confuse you, and the corporation's sole purpose is to pay back the debt on the war. Okay. And who owns the corporation for the most part? The King of England, who bought the debt. And they set it up through the Pope and incorporated in Delaware and all kind of stuff and made United States. And they knew that we would probably not, it wouldn't dawn on us that United States and United States of America isn't the same thing. I got some letters to write with regard to a lot of different things because I have absolutely nothing to fucking do with being a United States citizen. I'm an American. I was born. Now, here's the problem. And this is what Kurt over at Kurt's Law Corner was talking about, is that if you pulled yourself out of the corporation and claimed to be born on the land, well, who owns the land that you were born on? Well, for the most part, it's the Crown Corporation. And guess who claims all the produce of the land, right? To include, we're just produce, right? The products. That's why your parents that rent, they claim your freaking children, right? They say they have a higher claim on your children than you do, which is why CPS can get away with it, and which is why guys with guns and badges can come into your house and take your kids for XYZ. Okay, so who owns the land that Cook County, Illinois, is actually meets and bounded on? And see, this is the thing: meets and bounds. Got to know some stuff about meets and bounds. See, because over in Hawaii, Kamehameha III did this thing with meets and bounds, and he basically claimed the Hawaiian Islands. Now, here's the thing. See, and it's convoluted, and which is why it takes forever for any of this to get out, because I have to make sounds at you and try to go in order, and I'm not a linear thinker. So anyway, trying to put it all together at once. Kamehameha III made Hawaii its own thing, separate from District of Columbia. They're all freaking Masons. If you look at the badges and so forth of the monarchs, Masons. Those are Masonic honors and awards that they wear proudly. Kalakaua, the Merry Monarch, had crap tons of them because he did them in multiple languages. Anyhow, these Masons have secreted knowledge. You know, like, drink your pee. Don't do pharmakia. Don't take pills. Just drink your own pee. Well, it sounds crazy. It only took like 3 generations for them to wipe that out of American culture. They're trying to wipe it out of India and other cultures now. But it turns out, it's distracting. It turns out that chemotherapy, oh yeah, sure, I'll go get some chemotherapy. Drink your pee, that's crazy talk. Putting mustard gas in your veins? Uh-oh, this thing's going to get taken down because I think the World Health Organization is all about chemotherapy. Anyhow, I'm not, and most nurses and doctors I know of aren't either. Anyhow, getting back to this whole thing with this guy. All right. So way back in 1871, we set up this new thing under Reconstruction because the southern states had walked out after the War of Northern Aggression, wherein the North just came down and basically slaughtered as many Southerners as they possibly could. None of the story that they told us is what they told. It didn't work. Sherman's March to the Sea, every fucking thing they've told us is a lie. Like, I can get back, and like I said, I'm going to be traveling a roundabout path here. But the idea is that this whole thing, from North Pole to South Pole, whether you believe it's flat, round, a thing surrounded by ice, whatever your, a spinning ball going around the sun, whatever it is, the whole thing, and I believe that it's a holographic projection, me personally, and that the real thing is projected. And of course, it's flat because it's a projection. We're in a holograph. You're on the holodeck. Many people have started to figure out this is a simulation that we experience through this meat suit. But the whole thing, from north to south, east to west, is a plantation wherein they farm. This is the alien ant farm, where they farm us, and they figured out that if they only take a certain small percentage of us, the rest of us won't ever figure it the fuck out. Except we did figure it the fuck out. And now there's problems because we don't like being eaten. We have a problem. We think we're the top of the food chain. And when we figure out that we're not the top of the food chain, and we're not as free as we may have believed, that we're bonded freemen, and that there are people that claim our fucking souls, we get a little pissy. See, because they figured out this part, don't put them in chains. They get pissy when you put them in chains. So chain them to the sky with their beliefs and thoughts. Make them, don't tell them about 1871 and what happened. Don't tell them that they're in debt. Don't tell them that their moms are freaking pledging them to bankers. All of your future labor is pledged to them to pay back a debt that, did I create that? Why am I paying this debt off? Right? That's what the southern states did. They were like, fuck it, I'm not paying this. And then that's when the North got all, anyway. And they told you it was about slaves. Oh, they were so magnanimous. They were freeing the slaves, right? And we don't have, and we're so far past it now. We don't have a problem with racism in this country, and the Democrats are doing everything they can to take down statues and everything that lets you know that that was absolutely the party of slavery. And the Republicans freed their slaves, and the Democrats got mad. Anyhow, and don't tell me this nation not racist. This nation's so fucking racist. They put a man in a dress, but because he was black, nobody's gonna say anything, and called him the first lady. Are you fucking kidding me? And now we got a dead cook who was gonna spill the beans, which is why he's dead. See, little guys like me, we're just crazy talking. He's wearing crazy sunglasses and he's got a Santa hat on and stuff. 'Tis the season, so you're not gonna listen to him. And we don't have to worry about snuffing him out. Let him talk. That makes it just sound even more crazy. But no, I have direct conversations with people that went to school with Barry who will tell you that Barry was gay. Barry's gay. Our generation, the guy only a couple years older than me, and I went to the sister school. Right? He went to Punahou. I had lots of friends that have either brothers or sisters that also went to Punahou. And some of them went to Punahou and then came to the school that I went to. And some of the people at the school I went to Punahou, depending on where the parents were, because sometimes the parents were on Maui and sometimes they're on Oahu. So I'm not talking out my ass. I have direct, right? So don't tell me, oh, he was never in Hawaii, blah, 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 and he didn't show up until college. No. He was on Oahu. And he went to Punahou. And he was gay as fuck. Simple as that. Okay, so all you motherfuckers talking about how they're going to run Michelle, they ain't going to run Michelle. They're just not. And the shot across the bow was Tucker talking about it. More is going to come out about the cook that died as time goes by. Because, see, it is Murder Inc. These guys just murder and murder and murder and get away with it. But they're not going to get away with it forever, people. And further, and see, that's the other thing, how fucking racist this place is, right? Don't tell me it's not racist. Them kids don't look like him, right? And that's another thing. Oh, you fucking bitches, all you drag queens and transgenders, you fucking knew, and you didn't say anything. Just kept your mouth shut. And anybody that did talk, what was her name? Late night hostess, I can see her, blonde woman. Anyway, somebody type her name down there. It doesn't make me crazy. She spilled the beans and basically said, "Oh, calm down. You know, it's that Mike was transgendered and Barry was gay." No, not Big Mike. The woman that she had regular old surgery, and of course they killed her. And the name that's coming to mind is Phyllis Diller, and that's exactly not her. She used to host on Johnny Carson, and she was around forever. She was an old-time comedian, and she basically spilled the beans. Anyway, I'll find it later, and maybe I'll even find the short clip and put it below. But the idea being is that them kids didn't look like them. That boy gay is AF. That's, I mean, every time I see it's just ridiculous. Every time I see this guy, Mike, and look at him from the back. I mean, for God's sakes, really? But besides that, the kids don't look like them. They rented them kids. But because all them black folk look alike, apparently, to all you super woke. Yes, Joan Rivers, for God's sakes. That was the one. There's video of Joan Rivers outing them. But the idea being is that these guys aren't going to be running Mike. It's as simple as that. Because it's too well known now. And it's easy to prove also, is the other thing. Nobody did their homework. Did you guys go out and look for bills? Because I've had several people looking, And somebody found me a picture of a bill from the internet that had 2023 on it, but that was a picture of a bill from the internet. Pull a bill out of your pocket and find it. Oh, which reminds me, again, guys, this is not going to end well. So get your food while you can get food. I got some silver. I'm going to trade some of that silver in for some other things. Because just because you have the silver doesn't mean you're going to be able to buy it. And I'm telling you, the southern border is compromised, and it's going to get hot. There's no way around it. It's going to get hot, and they're not telling you this, so you're not preparing. Just imagine what one shooter did in Maine. Okay, or what one shooter does. Okay, now imagine 25 shooters. Now imagine 25 shooters well armed and well equipped, all at the same time in one city. Right? Okay. They're going to raise a ruckus because this thing right here is the whole tip of the iceberg. Let me get back to where I was. Okay. You're on an alien ant farm. It's all programming. It's all programming. It's all programming. They can only program us two ways, light and sound. That's all they've got. And that's just mathematics. That's a wavelength. Okay. They make sure that we can't speak the same languages, right? So you got some people speaking Russians. Russians more than likely are friends. I've talked to Russian people. Look back at our history, 1776. We wouldn't be free if it wasn't for Russia. They hated Russia to the point where they killed their czar, and they did the same thing with patriot pacification. They keep, right? Okay, now here's the thing I know, and I've heard this from numerous people. They've gamed this out a million ways from Sundays using supercomputers, and the current path that we're on is the path of least amount of carnage, and yet the carnage is high. Why is the carnage high? Because this hasn't even kicked in yet, and they can't figure it out. It's global warming. Certainly, it had nothing to do with any of this. And no. Okay, now when you get this part of it understood, you'll understand that they'll do this, and they'll do any freaking thing to make sure that you don't figure out who these people are. And this number right here, just soon I saw 177. Oh my God, that is that's like Saturn soaring up. And 771, 177, the palindromes. Anyway, why 177? It's 177 names. Okay, when those names come out, there's going to be a fucking utter freak out. In fact, they're freaking out as it is, and they will kick over the chessboard before they give up and say, oh yeah, okay, you beat us, checkmate. Okay, so that's why this takedown is so difficult, because they're trying to do it with the least amount of carnage possible. And I know for a fact that go back and watch it from the beginning on 2x speed. I know for a fact that these guys are in full panic mode. Now, a lot of these guys and a lot of this blackmail is to keep the story that some of us have been telling you about. Do I have it handy? I do have it handy. It's right there. Telling you this story about 1871 and the bankruptcy and the pledge liens that we've become, and the fact that there isn't any money, and the fact that there is that House Joint Resolution 192, and the fact that state of Hawaii is not what you think, and United States is the parent corporation of all these 50 franchises, and the 50 franchises, most of the guys in them don't even have fucking oaths of office. All right. That's problematic. They don't want that out there. Simple as that. They don't want you understanding that these guys are 100% fraudulent and illegitimate, and that our whole monetary system is fraudulent and illegitimate. And they're gonna kick the table over. So as much food as you got, the 25-year, I've been talking about this for years now. If you bought the 25-year stuff, you still got the 25-year stuff because it's still got 20 years to go. And it ain't gonna take 20 years for this thing to pop off. Get it now while you can still fucking get it. Get your ammo now while you can still fucking get it. Get your canned goods now while you can still go to a store where there's canned goods. And then you better figure out how to fucking cook without electricity. Well, a couple of tips from Santa here, or one of Santa's helpers, giving you a couple tips. You know what makes great stocking stuffers? Ammo. You know what makes great gifts under the tree? Packs of 3 months, 6 month supplies of food. Wrap them up, stick them under the tree. And then silver. Okay, so now we can move to that part. Like I said, I'm jumping all over the place, but I'm telling you, it's all related. It's all one thing, guys. The idea that the people that are blackmailed, they're not telling you about your history. They're not telling you about Wigmores and the cotton wigs and the conscious wigs. They're not telling you about who Trump is. They're not telling you about any of this stuff, right? They couldn't figure out. That was one of the most blatant bank robberies. Now look for orange on this paper. You can see, yeah. Certain things were in fact blatantly, like just blatant. Couldn't be more blatant. Okay, there's no evidence. There's no evidence. And here's the evidence. You can't talk about it. I gotta point to fucking stuff like that. Okay, it's fucking late in the day, folks. Late in the day. And this is a serious warning. We're not getting through this without a little of this. It's just not going to happen. You folks in Hawaii, no worries. But in the 48, it's going to be problematic. They have plans. I was thinking that it was fear porn and it was just, yeah. No, they have plans. And the plan, okay. There's a bunch of people that want to get rid of the this stuff right here. These. And like I said, go look in your pockets and find me any 2017. We found a few 1s and 5s apparently were printed in 2021. But other than that, the money supply is dwindling, and we can prove this. And what's the number one cause of depression is lack of currency. You can't trade without these. So they're getting rid of them. Okay, so you're going to want some of these instead, and rolls of these that are silver from before 1964, dimes particularly, I think, we're going to be the most useful out of everything. But the idea is everybody want to get rid of this. Right? The good guys want to get rid of it because that is the number one tool of our enslavement. The bad guys want to get rid of it because they want to put a better tool of enslavement in its place. But they're not going to sell it, and they can't sell it. And that's more fear porn. Not going to happen. Can't happen. They have problems with it. Let's put it that way. They can't implement it because in order to do so, they can't do it. They haven't got the ability to do it. They it's their wet dream, but that they're not there yet. And then too many people caught on, and too many people like me won't shut up about it. Yeah, and anybody will tell you don't want digital currencies, but you also don't want this stuff, right? And here we come right back to these guys. Because all the big boys and girls And I'm talking about the big boys, the guys that like own the people that print this stuff. And then they use this stuff to buy our politicians super cheap. Super cheap. Like American politicians are famous for just being dirty, cheap whores that are easily bought by whoever needs them to be bought. And the last 3 years proved it, because there are lots of them that saw and knew what was going to happen when they rolled this out, and they stayed quiet and got paid off and didn't do anything. And now the normies are starting to figure it out. And now it's a problem because the normies, that's their ace in the hole. Like I said, they got them in cuffs. They don't know they're bonded. They don't know that the idea is to get everybody to become incorporated and claim that they are by any means whatsoever, like filling out a voter registration form, saying that you're a United States citizen. I ain't no United States citizen, right? I'm an American. Problem. The king seems to think he owns me. So does the Pope. The Pope owns my soul, and the king owns my body, because I was born on the land and I'm product of the land that they claim to own. See, none of it is the way they told you it is. None of it. Your quote unquote American history lies. Here's a little piece of information. The Nazis didn't lose World War II. In fact, Truman surrendered. The Germans surrendered to the rest of it, but the Nazis did not surrender, and Truman surrendered to the Nazis. And then we had Operation Paperclip. Yeah, I said it out loud. And then we had Operation Paperclip, and the Nazis came and infiltrated our government. And now those same Nazis have a plan, because there's a little too many of us. We're a little unruly, to get rid of us. And the plan, anyway, was to get rid of us, because now we have machines that can build machines, so they don't need us anymore. Right? And it's a damn good thing. And I mean, it's all relative, and might be a bad thing, but it's a good thing that these GPTs came out, the chat GPTs and so forth, to replace the many that are gone. And now we're going to have deepfake. And see, this is the other thing. They're stretching, in my opinion, they're stretching things out as far as they can, because they're letting you know that they have deepfake technology. So when some of these videos come out showing atrocious fucking things that are just atrocious, and I won't even speak of them, not because I'm being censored, but because I don't want to speak of them, because they're so fucking horrifying. I'll just... yeah. But anyway, those people are about to get busted. Because, and see, this is the other thing. I was going to make a video on solstice, but do you know what happens on the solstice on the 21st? I do. It has a lot to do with that. See, and once you know, you can't get it out of your head, and it makes it difficult to keep an even keel and an even temper, because these people are getting away with it solstice after solstice. Your quote unquote United States military, that ain't the United States of America military. Those are U.S. Marines. Those are U.S. Air Force. I've said this before. That's U.S. military. That's a corporation masquerading as a government. And some of us woke up to the fact. But they want as many in that corporation as possible. And they don't want you waking up to the fact that when you sign that thing, you have signed away your rights, and now you get privileges. You get constitutional rights. I'm sorry, my rights were given to me by God. They are unalienable rights. And the only reason why we set up the country or the corporation was to protect those rights. And you guys all swore oaths, supposedly, but you didn't, to protect that Constitution and those rights. Anyhow, the videos I talk about this in have all been pulled down, oddly enough. And a lot of the stuff that happens in this next 2 weeks because this is the season. 'Tis the season, and a lot of disgusting things happening. And right in the middle of their season, where they're supposed to be doing all their something, because both sides are very, very cruel, very. But the idea is that while they're supposed to be celebrating and having their Saturnella and their crazy demonic, demon worshiping, blood drinking festivals, now they're worried about this. It's because they know that these guys, and then with just a little digging, these guys have some associates, don't they? You understand? Like these guys are fully panicked. So expect things to get freaking crazy sooner than later. So get some of this if you don't have some of this. If you have a lot of this, maybe you want to trade some of this for survival stuff, right? Prepping. Oh, those crazy preppers. We're having so far a pretty mild winter. Some places it's bitterly cold, but a lot of places it's warm. You know where it's cold? Hawaii. It's cold in Hawaii right now, and they've been having a little cold snap for a little while. And over here, it's gotten a little cooler, but it hasn't turned into the nasty winter that people are expecting. But then again, it only just turned winter yesterday or 2 days ago. So like I said, I was going to make a video then I was going to make a video on the 22nd, and I decided not to make a video on the 22nd for other reasons. And then I figured, well, I better get it done today because then it's Christmas. And like I said, way back when I made videos in October, that this goes by like this. It's over, right? October, and then it's Thanksgiving, and then it's Christmas, and then it's the year's over. And then it's a lot of things are going to start happening in the new year. The case for silver couldn't be higher right now. But come on over to the debt clock with me, would you? Oh, I thought I had it on. Oh, yes, I do. There it is. And here, I'll put it in the chat so you can click on it. And don't forget to click on the little thing that in the upper right-hand corner. There's always cool stuff there that they've got. And there's Easter eggs all over this thing. Just click on stuff. Anyway, let's see here. Let's put it in the chat. So I'm at the debt clock. And we'll go. Yes. All right. Now let's take a look at that clock. This is kind of important. If you look at the upper left where it says U.S. national debt, and then you go down to largest budget 10, and then you go down, right? Okay. And then you go down a little further and it says money creation. I'm reading down the left-hand side. Look at the money supply. The money supply going backwards. Okay. What did Milton Friedman tell us about the causes of the Great Depression and not having enough of this? So part of your prepping is to go get 100 of these. But if you look at it, I'm watching it. Since I've been talking, it's gone down $500,000. Okay, let's see here. Meantime, currency and credit derivatives are going up. Now, if we go over to the right side, take a look at the silver ratio. I mean, what is it? It's where are we at? $12,581 per ounce. That's the dollar to gold ratio. This dollar to silver ratio 5-year is $1,556. Let's see here. You can still get one of these for $25 or so, right around $25 shipped to your door. Used to be able to get so now for what I used to get 10 of them, you can get 2 of them because $50 shipped to your door. You should be able to get 2 of these, maybe 1 ounce coins. All right. They're worth a whole lot more than that. And I can put a whole bunch of information on here with regard to Bix Weir and so forth, telling you about the the ridiculous price suppression of the of silver. All right, hold on a second. I have to go get some. Just pause. right. Sorry about the the intermission. Had to go get a couple liberal tears. All right. If you understand what I'm trying to tell you, this stuff right here is going to become a lot more valuable. But when this stuff right here becomes a lot more valuable, we're not going to be happy. And when it becomes a lot more valuable, that doesn't mean you'll be able to get anything with it. You may be able to trade directly. Oh, here's a fun piece of information. India, which, by the way, is part of the Crown Corporation. See, this is the thing. We've all figured out, wait a minute, we thought we were free. We thought India was its own country. No, it's just part of the plantation. South America, all the South American countries, no, they're all under the Crown. Australia, all under New Zealand, Crown corporations. Canada, Crown Corporation. And a lot of those Crown corporations, like Australia and Canada, domiciled in DC. When you start seeing the structure, corporations that own corporations, that own corporations, and there's this whole, okay. But it's the three. Just keep your eyes on the ball. Vatican, City of London, DC. And DC is the land of the free, home of the brave, where they figure out through huge amounts of programming how to get these people to lay their children on the altar of war for bankers, making them think about patriotism and so forth. It's one place. Yeah, we don't all look alike, but one of the clues is that we can all have children with each other, just about, except for them Rh negative weirdos. But overall, and even then with a little medicine, we can all interbreed. I was just listening to a thing that they were talking about. Oh crap, I took that break and then I didn't bring that back, but it's right there, so no problem. I highly recommend, oops, there it is. I highly recommend this book. Very interesting. Because it is, in fact, a diabolical system. And everybody want to get rid of it. So this doesn't have any friends. So this is going away. So you should plan around the fact that this is going away. And it's going away sooner than later. And it may go away quite suddenly if they lose control. So the idea is that be prepared. And like I said, winter, just for winter, just be prepared for power outages. Just be prepared for what if you get snowed in? Never mind the diabolicals. It's just a matter of preparedness. So that, and then if you're on the southern border, I'm telling you, San Diego, Phoenix, Tucson, Ciudad, Juarez, I can't, I'm trying to, in my mind, trying to think of all that. Anyway, all along the southern border, Texas, especially, right? El Paso and San Antonio. And anyway, down there, anywhere close to the border, I believe we're going to have some problems, serious freaking problems. So just be prepared. I mean, our forefathers went through worse than this by far. And if you go back multiple generations, like many, many, many generations, I'm sure they've had tribulations worse than this. So just be prepared. Food, water, and a way to defend yourself. And a way to trade. So that will come in handy. But I'm telling you, from what I understand in many different localities, this... and I'm not just talking about the United States. When the money goes no good, before it absolutely goes no good, it's still used to a certain extent in barter. So maybe you want to have a few of these. And like I said, go over there and look at that debt clock and watch the money supply going down. Oh, there's another place. There's two places where it shows it going down that I might call your attention to, where the numbers are actually going backwards instead of forwards. And unfunded liabilities is going through the roof. Let's see here. Like I said, there's so many Easter eggs here. There's the money supply that's going backwards, but there's also Oh, the trade deficit with China, oddly enough, is going backwards. The total trade deficit is going backwards. Meantime, imported oil is only going up. And debt held by foreign countries also going up. But the US money supply going backwards, that is exceptionally problematic. I don't even have words for how exceptionally, all right? And then go look on the left, upper right hand corner and scroll down to where it says dollar supply. There's a big red arrow pointing to it. And that's all where the dollar and silver and so forth, that's what I was looking for. That's also going down at a pretty rapid rate as I'm watching it. Oh, look, it's 987. Oh, look, 985. Oh, 984, 32. It's going down. The dollar supply is going down. Could it be because they haven't printed any of these since 2017? Okay. Not having currency. Well, let me even read that. Nope, I don't have it open. All right, never mind. Look up Milton Friedman. I'll just do it. Let's see here. Depression caused by lack of currency. Friedman. Shortage of money led to a massive increase in denial, stress, anger, depression, and anxiety. This emotional strain of dealing with debt can be almost as damaging as getting your electricity cut off or having your car repossessed or seeing your credit score plunge to where you'll struggle to get another loan. That's not what I'm looking for. Let's see what. There you go. The money crisis in the Great Depression caused the money supply to drop. The monetary crisis in the Great Depression caused the monetary supply or the money supply to drop significantly. Many economists argue that this drop converted what had been a recession into a severe depression. The depressed economy caused many banks, especially small banks, to go bankrupt. Let's see here. And I think it was Milton Friedman. In their 1963 book, A Monetary History of the United States, from 1867 to 1960, Milton Friedman and Anna Schwartz laid out their cause for a different explanation of the Great Depression. Essentially, the Great Depression, in their view, was caused by the fall of the money supply. Now let's go back over here to the debt clock. And then let's go take a look at the money supply, the dollar supply. Which way is it going? Oh, it's going down. Now, some people have done some calculations at this rate. When does it hit zero? And I don't think it can hit zero, but you get the idea, a mental exercise. And that would, at this rate, sometime in October. Next October, 2024. All right. So they hide nothing from us, and right in front of our face, this website is telling you that the money supply is dropping. Okay, that's problematic. I mean, it should stay steady or increase a little bit, but it's not. The only thing that's saving us, actually, when you get right down to it, I hate to say it because it makes it sound like anyway, not happy at all about it. Not even slightly happy at all. I mean, worst I told you so ever. But because of that and the resulting amount of people that are not here to celebrate Christmas anymore, those things are deflationary. So what they plan on doing is crashing our economy, putting us into a depression, and then activating many of the people that have come across our border. Simple as that. Food, however much ammo you have, get more. emergency rats, some silver, and don't expect that we're going to come out of this smelling. I mean, we get to the other side smelling like roses. As I cut myself off on the other one, there is so much technology waiting for us on the other side of this, like a huge amount of technology that will blow your mind. It'll be like magic, but not before we throw off some of these demons. And that's basically what they are. Again, easiest freaking choice you'll ever have to make. Right-hand path nurtures children. Left-hand path harms children. Easiest choice you'll ever have to make. You don't get on the right-hand path. You don't get on the path to peace by killing children. I know I'm crazy. I'll call me the crazy one. But killing children is not going to bring peace. Just simple as that. Nothing funny about it. But I mean, really, people? Okay. So those people that are on the left-hand path and who want to subjugate us and who may be serving when you get to the top of this pyramid, who may be serving bad guys, they are absolutely vying for control over us, and they have absolute control. So those of you thinking that Mr. T is going to fix everything and his army of white hats, you're going to have a bad day. Just saying. Here's the other thing. There is this consciousness. It's called the Christ consciousness. You cannot accept it here. You have to accept it here in your heart. That Christ consciousness is what's going to fix this problem. In the meantime, we have, so like, again, if you're waiting for a dude to show up and fix things, you're going to be waiting for a while. Some of them are waiting for a couple thousand years. They're going to be waiting for a couple more thousand years. Simple as that. But the idea is that we don't just do nothing. And these guys know that they're in serious trouble because once these people see, and what it boils down to is the oath-breaking pedophile protectors, they know, because that they're in trouble. So the guys that are protecting the pedophiles that have been covering for these guys, they're in trouble too. Because a lot of them should have been known, should have been outed by now, right? So the fact that so many of them have started freaking out, I mean, literally freaking out, it tells you. Now, there's a bunch of conspiracy theories out there that we're not actually going to get their names. But that judge actually said she wants that list unredacted. So now we can start doing some, Amazing Polly used to do her things where she would connect A and B and C and D and show you who's connected to who and what's going on where and so on, and how all these motherfuckers are related. And it's about, this is the problem. I always used to give people shit for it. Why you can't start shooting? You don't even fucking know who to shoot at. Well, for the first time, and in the last 3 years, we figured out, or a lot of people have figured out who to shoot at. Now it's just waiting for the shoe to drop and see what happens when it comes to the military. Is the military going to do something? Military, I guarantee you, they have all the data. They have all of it. They have this, for fuck's sake. The videos that YouTube has deleted, they have those too. From me, yeah. They have it all. Okay, so the question comes down to, why didn't they do anything? Again, they gamed it out, and apparently it would have turned into a bigger mess had they arrested the guys that blatantly, and I mean completely and utterly did that right around 2020 when people were, doing the thing where they call themselves U.S. citizens so that they can have their one vote in the corporation. You don't elect, you vote. They poll you. Again, I want nothing to do with that corporation. Nothing to do with that corporation. That corporation commits war crimes across the world, and just recently was responsible for trying to get rid of its own citizenry. And many of them are still firmly in denial. And that's the other thing these people are freaking out about, the people on this list, and others, because it's a whole lot more than 177, that's for sure. The populace seems to have figured out what's going on and are now getting awfully pissy with the people that are supposed to. We hired you, we gave you a job, and your job was to provide for the common defense. That was one of the main things in the job, was providing for the common defense. Telling me to put a mask on, not so much, but providing for the common defense, that's right up in there. That's one of the things you're supposed to do. Now, defend us against who? I don't know, pedophiles? Pedophiles would be good people to defend us against. Got a border that I can drive to that is completely porous in a state where the government is 100% illegitimate and clearly some of the most corrupt in all of the 50 states. The other one that would be maybe a little more corrupt is state of Hawaii. But state of Arizona, right up there. Their courts, 100%, the superior courts, 100% taken over. Right now, that's what I mean. Going back to the bar attorneys and going back in time to 1871, they are administering this estate for the king in order to get paid back for the debts that the unruly slaves, the colonists caused in the very beginning of the whole thing. I mean, it boils down to that. But yeah, we owe a debt. I didn't create this debt, but and there technically is not supposed to be generational debt, but a couple of few generations back, not that many actually, like not even 10 generations back, they made this big debt, and they want to, and the people that are being indebted to, well, first they took like land and ports and all kind of stuff, and then when they didn't have any more of that stuff to give, which they had stolen anyway, they pledged us. That was the last bankruptcy in 1933, or actually 1929. And then we had a bankruptcy that came out of receivership in 1999. And for the last 24 years, we've been bumbling around. We were supposed to have a Jubilee, but then they knocked a couple buildings down in New York, and there went the Jubilee. And then in 2020, they were going to do something, and they came out with this other thing having to do with this and, flattening curves and so on. Again, before they let us know what's going on and all the different stuff they do with traffic, they'll kick over the chess table. They'll take us to war. They'll try to annihilate us. They'll do whatever they can, but they're not going to admit it. And so what has to happen is more or less a Red Sea moment, because it's not going to be there's not enough guys for there to be a Red Sea moment where everybody gets arrested at once. It's not going to happen. But there's waves of it, and a lot of these people, like I said, they're freaking out. So now let's see what happens, because there's lots of too good to be true. Probably is. Yeah, sure. They've been saying they're gonna release the list, and they're gonna somebody's gonna for years, and so far nothing. Right. Well, let's see, because it went all over social media, and then it seems to have disappeared. And then, from what I understand, a lot of these guys have super high power lawyers that are doing everything they can to prevent the list from being released with their name on it, or at least get their name redacted or something. I mean, these guys are freaking out. Like, they're freaking the fuck out. It's happening. Again, take a look at the list of people and see here on the plantation, where they've gotten us programmed with, oh, you're a Christian, I'm a Jew, and you're a Muslim, and I'm a Hindu, and that means we should fight. And it is. They just push us together to try to get you to get so crazy that you'll actually kill your fellow man for stuff that goes on up here. 100%. It's all become aware of your programming. Wake up. It's all programming. All of it. All of it. So once you become aware of the programming, you can't miss it. Oh, it's everywhere. And you'll see they put the symbols everywhere because you know the story subconsciously. You've heard the story before. So they use all manner of sign and symbol because symbols are more important and rule the world, which is why they put them on our bills. That's a symbol right there. There's a whole story. If you're a Mason, this tells you this thousands of words in that one symbol right there. Okay, symbols rule the world. Get that part down. All right. So, and they use these symbols very judiciously to control our thoughts and our right. Oh, do you ever gotten emotional when you see the Stars and Stripes flying and there's a Star Spangled Banner playing in the background? Right. That's an American thing. That's a huge amount of programming there. I can tell you stories. Make a really long story short. There's a patriotic display I don't know if it's still there, at Disney World in Florida. And all the Americans that walked out of that thing had tears in their eyes. And all it was patriotic music and images of, 100% programming. The foreigners, and there are some in our group. I was there with a bunch. I'm not a stamp collector, but I have a friend that's a stamp collector, and they were a bunch of stamp collectors from all over the world. Some of these guys, like this one guy, had every stamp Australia had ever issued. When he goes to Australia, he's under. They give him armed guards. Anyway, it was a crazy group of crazy stamp collectors, not like guys that have a few stamps. Anyway. And so there are some Germans there and some Finns and some other people, Russians, I believe, even, and a few other people, because everybody collects stamps. And they couldn't figure out, why are you guys crying? It was just some music and pictures. It's an American thing. Programming is what it was. To the point where you shed tears, to the point where you offer up your children on their altars of war for just the most, right? Gulf of Tonkin turned out not to be a thing. I got dead relatives because of that story, right? Cousins. One of them was an Eagle Scout, didn't come home. Every generation in my family, every generation, except me, served formal time in the United States military. All of them, except me, and now my sons. Because I told them I will support you in any fucking thing except for if you want to get into quote unquote law enforcement or if you want to become a military man. Those two things I will not support. You're on your own. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying I won't support you. Okay. Everybody else going back. Vietnam, Korea, World War II, World War I. Good. They served. Again, mind washing. Absolutely. And I had some relatives that served in, I guess it was the Russian-Japanese War, and they weren't real keen on being on the Russian side because they were Lithuanians and they didn't want to be there, but they got drafted and off they went to go kill guys that they had no beef with. They'd probably never seen a Japanese person in person. Anyway, but again, programming. Well, I have to because that's what I was told. Right? We got people in Hawaii that are now, from what I understand, feeling guilty, but that doesn't bring any dead people back. But they just follow orders. Just do what they're told. Never had that problem personally. In fact, I have a really hard time doing what I'm told. Maybe you should too. The idea is you want to stick up for individual freedom, not for going along with the tribe, because the tribe, as you have seen in the last 3 years, can be easily led astray. And then they lie to them and lie to them some more. I have friends, people I know, people I have broken bread with that can't figure out why mom's dead, that can't figure out why XYZ is dead. I know why they're dead, but I'm a crazy conspiracy theorist. Oddly enough, I don't have myocarditis. Now, a lot of people here and here are guilty because you silenced us, you censored us, we couldn't warn our friends. That's accomplice to murder at the very least. And you know it's coming. Do you think we're just going to let it go? I know a lot of people, and I have a lot of friends who are skeptics, cynics, but really, you think that murder on this wide a scale and the murder of children is just going to be swept under the rug? Really? And now that people know, see, because they had that, what was that movie? Sound of Freedom. Look who put that thing together. Oh, look, it's happening over there. It's not happening over here. It's not happening here. Don't worry, it's not happening here. We don't have no problem with none of that here. It's all over there. Those naughty drug lords down there in South America, they're the one doing it. We squeaky clean. Nothing happening in D.C., promise. Motherfuckers, you're all gonna, it's, oh, I drew it on another piece of paper, which is not here. Well, actually, it's here. It's just buried underneath all this stuff. Here it is. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, strange fruit coming to a land near you soon. Promise. I know you guys are cynics. I know you guys are skeptical. Yeah, they're just going to keep getting away with it. They've always gotten away with it. Okay. In the next 12 months, stuff happens or it doesn't. If stuff doesn't happen in the next 12 months, then stuff really is going to happen in the next 12 months, if you know what I mean. But a lot of these guys understand what's coming for them. They know what they've done. And anybody here watching that falls into that category, but the idea that, well, maybe you do. I don't know. Maybe you're skeptics. Maybe you're not. But I'm telling you that a change is coming, folks. And if you can't feel it, sorry for you, because it's coming. It's absolutely coming. They are not getting away with this. They aren't. They can't. It's not going to happen. So on that Christmas Eve note, Merry Christmas, because I'm telling you, the next 3 months are going to be very interesting. Just the next 90 days. And then the next 6 months going out into the middle of summer. And then let's see what happens in September. Again, things are about to break loose. I can feel it in my bones. They're about to break loose. And I've been saying it for years. There are lots of people who have been saying it for years. But now there's just no way. And again, let's just do a little mind exercise. There's this guy. He goes traveling around the world. He stops in Saudi Arabia. He goes to North Korea. He goes to Russia. He gets a soccer ball. He gets to carry a sword in Saudi Arabia. He does all this symbolic stuff. He walks in front of the queen. He does all this stuff. Okay. And all these guys are part and parcel of this thing right here. And then they figure out that way up here at the top, and I mean, dude, we're United States and our Senate and president stuff, they're way down here when it comes to this thing, right? The power structure. It goes way, way, and the popes are like over here, and it goes way, way above that. Like I said, the whole thing is programming. But some of these guys down here figured out that these guys up here might not be good guys, might not even be human. We're not going to go there in this video, but so they definitely have this thing completely controlling us. People will kill for this. Okay, so how are we going to break the back of the guys that are running this thing, that would print this, that own this, the corporations that own this? Right, going all the way up in International Monetary Fund, Bank of International Settlements. I'm not going to try and draw out the structure here because I don't have a board. But the idea is that it's a very convoluted thing between the corporations owning corporations. Then they try to incorporate you and own you as a corporation. because you are corporated. And then you have to understand that there's the public corporation, and then there's the private side, which is not incorporated. That's a living man. Anyhow, these guys figure out that this power structure that's been running around for, I don't know, 6,000 years, and they're doing all kind of horrifying stuff, and they're involved in this and a whole lot worse. Again, because they figured out that when there's billions of us, we don't notice when a few 100,000 go missing here and there. And there are those that might like to eat us. Man, we hate that idea. And these guys are among the most clueless of all. But there's even more clueless than that. The ones that are like, they don't want to get involved even at all. They don't want to look. They just want to watch movies and, oh, look, Taylor Swift. Oh, should we go down that? Nah, I'm not going to go down there. She made a deal. She cut a deal. Who she cut a deal with? She probably cut a deal with the guys very near the top of this thing to keep the control of the masses. But anyway, some of these guys figured out that these guys might not be good guys. So they've given us this complete lie about the fact that things are getting hotter and more BS about that. This stuff right here. Let's use it against them. How are we going to use it against them? Oh, I don't know. Maybe take one of the world's most precious resources, the best conductor of metals. And here I'll get into a really crazy conspiracy theory in just a second. But let's keep it super cheap and stuff it into solar panels. Millions and millions of ounces going into just solar panels. Okay. And now look at solar panels. That's the largest sector of the renewable energy. That's solar panels. Everybody's making solar panels. Well, mostly China's making solar panels. Okay. And they need this to make solar panels, because if they're going to last for 25 years, you can't use copper because copper degrades. Can't use zinc. The only metals that will last 25 years exposed to the weather: silver, gold, platinum, palladium, the noble metals, the precious metals. All right. So Winnie the Pooh gets in his head, along with the guy that rides bears with no shirt on, and this other billionaire with a super hot wife. They get together and using super duper technology that we don't even have a clue about, they figure out how to try and take down the name stealers, the Khazarians, and their minions who wear tiny hats here in the prime material plane. And they figure out, here is the Achilles heel, right here in my hand. This is what it takes to fuck their whole system. Okay. Which is why you can still get an ounce of it for $25. Counterintuitive, I know, but because I know guys that are absolutely positively convinced that it's not rigged. They're the same ones that think it's safe and effective, and think that 2 planes knocked down 3 buildings on the 11th on what's his name, Yeshua's birthday. All right, it's going to happen. The change is coming. A big change is coming. It's not a little change. It's a big change. I must admit, I have gotten pretty comfortable using this shit right here. I'm not even sure how I'm going to go about not using that stuff. But I am told by 105 different sources that day is coming, and it's coming soon. So you had best prepare, because the transition might be a little rocky. Perhaps. Let's say things fuck up for just like 3 weeks. Can you last for 3 weeks with what's in your house right now? Right? I know lots of people that, 3 weeks, no problem, because up in Idaho and Montana and so forth, you get snowed in. And I got some Canadian friends. I mean, you just, the snow goes to the second window and there is nobody going to plow it and ain't nobody coming. So better have enough, right? So you can last. And I'm telling you, it's going to get hot. I didn't think it was going to get hot. I thought we are going to get through this without it going hot. That's not the case. All right. So the idea is get prepared. If you don't know how to shoot a gun, you better learn how to shoot a gun. And you better learn how to shoot the thing straight. Right? And if you don't know how to shoot a gun and you don't want to play with that, then don't get a gun, because if you don't know how to use one, it's probably more of a problem than a help. And they're expensive and. You may want to still get some ammo, though, because you may be going back to the day when you can buy a shot of whiskey for a shot, which is why we call them shots, because ammo has always been currency. It's never not been currency. I know guys to this day that still trade ammo for stuff and stuff for ammo. So you might want to get some, even if you don't know how to work one of these. And then food, damn it, and water and life straws. They're $15. Get them while you can get them. Right? The time to go Costco to get toilet paper is when they have toilet paper, not when everybody's in line to get toilet paper. I don't need to go Costco to get toilet paper. We got plenty of toilet paper, even though my freaking woman uses toilet paper. Like, I can't believe how much toilet paper that woman uses. Anyway, but the time to get it is not when there's no toilet paper and everybody's in line at Costco. The time to get it is now. The time to convert your silver into stuff you can eat is now. The time that to convert your silver into stuff you can shoot is now. Actually, maybe just a little bit of it. Might want to wait, but I'm telling you, when the price of this thing shoots to 600,000, 2,000, etc., the ridiculous amounts that they're talking about. And is that going to happen in the next 12 months? Don't know. Could it be a couple of years still? Maybe. I don't think so. I think it's coming sooner than later. But the idea being is, when that happens, just because you got silver that's worth $600 doesn't mean you can go get $600 worth of stuff at Costco, because there might not be anything in Costco to go get. Are you following me? See, because I've been there. I've been in Costco on Maui when there wasn't a fucking thing in the toilet paper section or the water section or the rice section, or, still had plenty of clothes and books and stuff. But, right? Okay. I have been on Maui after hurricanes and the stores are fucking empty. Doesn't matter if you have these. Doesn't matter if you have these. There isn't any fucking thing to get. So I know it's Christmas. Yay, Merry Christmas. But prepare. And maybe you make some of your Christmas gifts stuff that has to do with preparedness. Okay, that's the point. And I've heard it now too many times from too many ways. It's not fear-born. This is going to go hot. It just has to. But it's going hot in a way that it's not going to be Americans fighting Americans. It's not going to be us fighting us. It is going to be us and them. But them is inside the gates, my friends. They're already here. They're coming through by the thousands every fucking hour. I have people that I've talked to like this that have seen it with their own eyes. They're coming across the border in fucking droves. Are all of them enemy combatants who are going to pick up guns? No. But even if it's just a small percentage of them are, we got problems, like severe problems. And they're interdicting improvised explosive devices or materials for such. Ain't enough cops in Phoenix to handle this. Simple as that. Ain't enough cops in San Diego. Ain't enough cops and they're going to be home protecting their own wives and children. Because it's going to go like that. It looks very much like these fucking psychos are going to let this happen or make this happen this way. But apparently this way was less Americans dead than other ways. Whereas, because I was like many others expecting after such a blatant, and I mean, that was painful to watch. Because see, I was in Hawaii at the time. And so in Hawaii, 11 o'clock is 2 o'clock or even later, 4 o'clock. So anyway, I was there when they did the steals and where, oh, look, we just stopped. Oh, all of a sudden the other guy's ahead. Just went right straight, a line that goes straight up. I mean, statistically impossible. Further, just like the other guy, Ron Paul, which is where I started first making videos. If you go way, way back, they're even taking some of those videos down. Like, these fuckers are serious. They want nothing. They want you to have no idea that anybody said anything about this. I mean, they're just scrubbing it. Anyhow, even back in the day where it was blatantly obvious they were robbing Ron Paul, it should have been absolutely obvious what happened. Because the one guy literally couldn't put 20 people in a room. Like 20 people wouldn't even show up. The other guy is filling stadiums. And the guy that couldn't put 20 people in the room got 81 million votes. And people went along with it. Yeah, that happened. There's no evidence. I told one of my friends, prove it. Yeah, prove it. This has gone to court numerous times. The fact that it went to court, see, this is where you realize, and see, I've got this piece of paper. I bought it over here. What did I just do? Oh, right here. These documents. I need to go over these documents with you guys. And again, boom, 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 boom. Notice to the world, baby. All right. Am I going to cover this? Well, I'm going to cover this again. Notice to the world, not United States citizen, coming from the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. I believe they would know whether I was a United States citizen or not, and they have no record of me being a United States citizen. And I believe I have another one, an even better one, and I'll read it to you. Yes. All right. But like I said, guys, we can't go into the courts because it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how right you are. We have complete and utter tyranny. They do what the fuck they like, right? With me, no warrant, no indictment. Hey, you forgot to sign some papers down here at the front of the hotel. Does that sound like an up and up arrest to you? I go down there and I'm surrounded by cops, and rather than fight or whatever, I just went with them willingly because I figured I'd be out in the weekend. 140 fucking 3 days later, they're still holding me. They shouldn't have been able to hold me for 30 days or 90 days. And apparently, people that get abused like this, just let it go. Well, not me. Okay, so I look at this, and here is a letter. It says, "Dear Ben Jose Rogers," in all caps. So they wrote it to a dead guy. The one in all caps, that person is dead. Okay, and I'm not that person. The name of the thing is not the same as the thing named. So the thing named and the name of the thing are not the same. I am the thing named, but I'm not the same as that all caps name. Prove it. If you think if I am, all right, just prove it. Go ahead. I give you 30 days. All right. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Let's see. This letter is in response to your request for records under the Freedom of Information Act, FOIA. And this is what started my whole journey way back in the day when I sent that first fucking Freedom of Information Act request when I was a full-on sheep normie. And I thought that for damn sure I was just going to get a form letter that said, because the first Freedom of Information Act I ever sent, I asked them why the words United States didn't appear on their letterhead, right? That was the first thing. For their statute of creation. I asked the IRS for their statute of creation. They don't need no statute of creation. These are all corporations. Anyhow, let's see here. And of course, I didn't get back. I didn't get back a form letter. We don't have to respond to interrogatories. You're questioning the authority of U.S. Congress to lay and collect tax. No, I asked you for your statute of creation and why the words United States don't appear on your letterhead. Well, because they're a corporation, and Department of the Treasury, IRS, is the name of the corporation. Anyway, let's see here. They're your friends, by the way. Those are not your enemies. Those are your friends. Okay, so in response to your requests for records under the Freedom of Information Act and Privacy Act, which was received in this office on May 10th, 2023. So I just did this year. Actually, this is the second one I did because I didn't like the first one. Regarding your record, facts, evidence, or any proof that Ben Hosea Rogers is a dependent officer or employee of the United States, and or that Ben Hosea Rogers is a United States citizen. And they spelled United States citizen with a small c. We have completed a search of Person-Centric Identity Services, PCIS. No records responsive to your request were located. All right, motherfuckers. If I'm not a United States citizen, where are you claiming jurisdiction and authority? That's just the allegiance. That's the dead thing. That's not a U.S. citizen, right? This is a non-resident alien. I don't live in Washington, D.C. So here are other documents that I have in here that I let them know. Excuse me, I'm not living in Washington, D.C. And the fact that I receive mail with a zip code on it does not make me a person that is a resident of Washington, D.C. Because you see, the zip codes, the way they set this thing up, and they have tracks right to your front door that say, if you're using that zip code, then you must be in Washington, D.C. Sorry, let's say Arizona. That's not in Washington, D.C. Well, state of Arizona is in Washington, D.C. State of Arizona is not the land. It's a corporation domiciled in Washington, D.C. United States. Where is United States? In Washington, D.C. Go look at my other videos. I already put all the fucking links and all the information underneath, right? Then we can just go back. Hold on a second. And let's go over here. And then let's go over here. And I can read it to you. And let's go to my channel. And look, I'm live. He's live right now. And then let's go over here to live. And then let's go to my last live. And shut up. And then let's go underneath here. And that's the thing. I don't have links now, but I always put more links. Always, always, always. Well, I told you also last, and I didn't put the stuff about the Shimbuva in there, but 34 U.S. code or 34 USC 12611 motor vehicle theft prevention program. Might want to write them a letter that say that you don't want to participate in that. Let's see here. United States means a federal corporation. Where is the location of United States? The United States is located in the District of Columbia. Everybody is located in the District of Columbia. State of Hawaii is located in the District of Columbia. Wait a minute. I thought the state of Hawaii was in the middle of the ocean in the Pacific. No. It is a place, or it is a fiction, that a juristic entity that resides in Washington, D.C. Now, earlier in the thing I was talking about, earlier in this broadcast, when I'm broadcasting to 8 people, woohoo, got 7 likes. Thanks. Kamehameha III told you that the metes and bounds of Hawaii were not inside Washington, D.C. And he put the metes and bounds. And metes, by the way, it's spelled M-E-T-E-S. Go look it up. It's a term. And see, this is the other thing. Terms. Got to know your terms, because firearm is a term. It's not the same as arms. Citizen, depending on whether it's capitalized or lowercase, that's a term. Parent, that's a term. Children, that's a term. Right? Those are child rents. You're renting them back from the government. You are parents, the pair that rents. You have joint rights of survivorship because you're thinking that you own the property. See, you already own nothing, and you're basically happy and thinking that Klaus Schwab guy, he's crazy, right? That dude's nuts. That's never going to happen. It's already happened. They're telling you what's already happened. If you registered the car, you have usufructed the car. You registered your house because you pay property tax on that house because you don't own the land. The crown claims to own the land. So you don't have a allodial title. And that whole mortgage thing, fraud, fraud, and fraud, and then some fraud. And then when you get done with the fraud, there's more fraud. And people have figured that out. And that's freaking them out also, which is another reason why so many people have figured out that there ain't no fucking money and all crimes are commercial. And this is going to go away. Partially because of that. Okay. So now, if I'm not U.S. citizen, I'm not residing in Washington, D.C., how do you have authority and jurisdiction over me again? Oh, because you're assuming that I'm the juristic entity. Well, I have cleared it up with documents so that there can be no mistake. You have to be incompetent if you look through, and this isn't as thick as it seems because every other page is got a stamp. It's just a copy of the thing, of the fact that I stamped the back of each page. Why would I stamp the back of each page? Okay. Oh, and I put a $1 stamp here. Why? Because the UPU can get involved now. All right. And this gives my paperwork some weight. So when I sent it this way, I didn't put 0 on the value, right? Actually, this thing's priceless. But anyway, I was going to talk about the fact that I seem to have cleared up. See, they make all these presumptions. There's 12 presumptions. And I have a document, I think I've shared it with you before, talking about the fact that you have to rebut those 12 presumptions. And so and then you give them notice that you're rebutting their presumptions. So the presumption that I'm a U.S. citizen, according to another department, not me. Look, I got a seal. They got their own seal on there. I mean, that's the Department of Homeland Security, motherfuckers. They say they have no record of me being a U.S. citizen. Well, you only have jurisdiction over U.S. citizens. Okay, and they'll tell you that. What about those of us with unalienable God-given rights that weren't born in the United States and that were born on the land and that we claim to be Americans? Well, there's a problem there too. Because again, they claim to own all the produce of the land that we call North America, upon which they put United States. But with this, I have noticed the world that the two persons, the juristic entity and the living man, have different birth dates. So unless you're a complete incompetent ninny boob, can't be the same person. Let's see, they try to make you sound silly when you go into court. Wow, he says he's not a person. I am a person. Men can be persons, but not all persons are men, right? I mean, all these corporations, Apple's a corporation, and it's a person. United States is a person. Your attorney general is a person. Anyhow, so let's see here. Statement of facts regarding zip code. There you go. So in here, just for shits and giggles, I let them know that just because I'm receiving mail at a zip code doesn't put me in Washington, D.C. I am the zip code and the address that I have here is in fact on the island of Maui, which is not in Washington, D.C. And again, you have to be fucking incompetent not to understand that simple concept, right? Okay. So I'll let them know. And look, it's got all kind of signatures and my signature. Oh, and by the way, this is a copy, and they got a copy. I have retained the original with the original signatures. Why? Because you need wet ink signatures to prove claims. Oh, that was another thing I was going to talk about today. But anyway, so that was a statement of facts regarding the zip code. Then I gave them another notice. I give them multiple. I give them lots of notices because gentlemen give notice, right? So let's see here. Now, what am I doing? By the way, I'm cutting them off at the pass. Right? I'm making it so that they have no way to say they didn't know. Their plausible deniability and their qualified immunity out the window. The poor guy that came to get me, the guy that said, "Wow, whoever wants you bad." That cop, his qualified immunity gone because I told him, "You got a warrant? No, you don't have a warrant. Then this is kidnapping." said it numerous times. It's on his body cam. If they still have the footage, well, they still have the footage. They have to keep that. But I told him straight up, you ain't got a warrant. Didn't bother him at all not to have a warrant. He knew he didn't have a warrant. Didn't give a fuck. Let's see here. So what is this? This is notice statement of facts regarding status. So this is where I let them know that under the United States Code, and that I have, in fact, that document from Department of Homeland Security that says I ain't no U.S. citizen. American, yes. U.S. citizen, no. All right. I am an American non-citizen national. And actually, just get rid of the word national. You're an American. And again, oh, look, all the signatures. Right? Witnessed by numerous people. Better than a notary. Living man here. Claim for damages. We're not going to get into that. But you should have a fee schedule. There's lots of examples of fee schedules, right? Where, according to their own code, you tell them what their trespasses are worth. All right. Oh, look. Here's from the Office of Minnesota Governor. There's right. I am a name holder. I hold the name, but that name isn't me. And there's the. All right. Oh, look. There's another fun piece of just proving that they don't even sign their orders. The order's not signed. Here, let's get it up nice and close. So, if I follow, and look how nice and short that is. That's all one sheet of paper. But take a look at that. And, what are signatures? No more signatures. Oh, again, plausible deniability. You came to court on your own volition. I didn't even sign these orders. Although there's a thing that says unsigned orders are actually signed. Right? Okay. And again, they can't say boo because this is all recorded. This was notice to the world. Now, let's go over, like I said, we'll just keep playing. Let's see here. Oh, and notice how they've all got numbers on them. Those are the either certified mail numbers or the registered mail numbers. Okay, what's this one? Oh, this is certificate of resignation, where for that case, I resigned as the authorized representative for that name. Not all over the world, just for that one case. I'm not going to be authorized representative for the courts. Let's see here. Oh, this is letting Sylvia Luke know by registered mail, she's the Secretary of State for the state of Hawaii, that I have repudiated my U.S. citizenship, never received a response, sent them another notice where they, because they have the opportunity to default, and then they have the opportunity to cure the default. They never cured the default. They are absolutely in default when it comes to the acknowledgement. So, and by silence, they agree. So they agree because they did not respond that I am not U.S. citizen. So if they don't, and see, oh look, there's the certified mail copies that were sent to Sylvia Luke. All right, let's see here. What other fun documents are in here? Okay, so these are signatures of, this is a certificate of resignation that I sent to state of Hawaii, and then I also sent one to state of Illinois, just saying that I'm not going to be the authorized representative for the dead thing. Look, I have a lawyer for that. And let's see here. What other documents do I have here? They're fun. Oh, now let's say you happen to have a oath of office that looks like this. Is this a real oath of office? This is the best they could provide. Well, let's see here. That font looks fine. Is there an attached statement? Oh, wait. As we talk about oaths of office again, This one, I have a couple of them actually. But as we talk about oath of office, let me just put this one more time. I think I've done it 100 times now. For oh man, I know it's here. There it is. Boom. And I'll put that in the chat window. Like I said, I do it every time. Let's do it again. All right, that's You Are Law, talking about the fact that an oath of office kind of important. Now, if some scrub that looks like this discovered that none of you guys had oaths of office, would you want to try and keep that guy quiet? Just saying, if you were a judge, just hypothetically, and you didn't have a valid oath of office and you fucking knew it, and you were putting guys in jail, and then there was some guy that came along and said, hey, because none of the other guys, apparently, all the guys you put in jail and everybody else, they just went, oh, okay. I was like, can I see your oath of office? Oh, you didn't have one. So now, worst I can get them for is impersonating a public official. Because they didn't commit treason, because they weren't actually part of the government. They were part of a private corporation. All right. Now, before that, let's read the first thing. What's this first page say? Well, the first page is a letterogatory instructing my attorney to use my social security number to discharge this debt, because as it turns out, this case is bonded. I'm a bonded free man. I woke up a slave on a planet of slaves. We all speak different languages. We all live in different climes, but 99.99% of us are bonded freemen. They have written birth certificates and written bonds on us, and they trade those bonds like crazy. My bonds matured in 2004, and they've been sitting there because they were 40-year bonds. Okay. And you need to search the bond, and then you find out that there's a whole economy that you are not aware of where they buy and sell our bonds. Okay. So yeah, we'll skip over the letterogatory. And then we'll do this, which is, but in the letterogatory, I let them know. I'll read that to you some other time. Demand for documents, demand for proof of claims. Proof of claim, hugely important. They've made all kinds of claims. They've made all kinds of assumptions. There are 12 assumptions of court. Go look up the videos about 12 assumptions of court and watch them. Yes, they are. Actually, and I put 13 in because they make all kinds of assumptions about you and your jurisdiction and where you are and all that kind of stuff. And you need to rebut each one of those presumptions. But anyway, so you just ask them, hey, can I get some proof of claims here? I'm the living soul, right? Inhabitant of the man called Ben Hosea of the house of Rogers. I'm writing this through using these banana grabbers. I inhabit this vessel. And this vessel is known by many names, but the name that you know here is Ben Hosea of the Rogers family. Rogers, Ben Hosea. Does not sound like Ben Hosea Rogers. Oh, in them so as taken care of. All right, so this is notice in demand for a lawful document. It informs you, Maui Second Circuit Court. It means what it says. Any reply to this lawful notice must be done within writing on oath or attestation and on your full commercial liability and under penalty of perjury in accordance with 28 U.S.C. 1746, not just under penalty of law, because they're writing like under penalty of law. Anyway, let's see here. Proof of claims required. He who affirms must prove. Silence agrees. So, I require a certified written copy of my case. Never got it. Right? They don't want to give you that. Or a reason why such has been withheld. They never got that. Signed and certified by a responsible authorized representative of the court who accepts liability for withholding the same. course not. See, and this is what are you going to do about it, slave? What are you going to do about it? Okay, let's see here. I accept everything done to me, provided you provide proof of the following claims, right? I'll accept everything that you've done, that everything's cool, and I'll just walk away if you provide proof of claims. Well, they never provided proof of claims, either express or implied, right? Like, in other words, maybe I did something that implies that I was consenting. They never responded at all. Let's see here. So first, that Maui Second Circuit Court need not prove any claim or is not required by law to provide proof of claim. That's the first thing before proceeding. Like, show me that you don't have to provide a proof of claim, and this all goes away. Nothing, right? Give them every freaking out, right? Give them every opportunity to do the right thing. This is what Trump did. Give them every opportunity to do the right thing. They won't do the right thing. That Rogers Ben Hosea am not the copyright and name holder for Ben Hosea Rogers, Ben H. Rogers, or Ben Hosea Rogers, Ben H. Rogers. And those are written in all caps and in title case. And that I have not provided you with proof of such. Right? I am the copyright holder. You've seen it here numerous times. Okay. That I, Ben Hosea Rogers, have not attained the age of majority on the 7th. In 1982, I attained the age of majority. That I, Rogers Ben Hosea, am not non-citizen national with regard to United States. That I, Rogers Ben Hosea, am not non-resident alien with regard to United States. Okay, so because if they can provide proof of claim of those two things, then they can show the jurisdiction. By the way, the Ben H. Rogers written here, the Rogers Ben Hosea, is in all lowercase. Here, I'll put that right here. Oh, wait a second. Where am I? Let's see here. I'll just cover this right here. But if you look carefully, you can see it's in all lowercase. Right? And I'm just going right down the list, right? That Rogers Ben Hosea have any wet ink signed contract with Maui Second Circuit Court. A contract has two signatures on it, not just one. I may have written an agreement, or they may have taken my signature and hypothecated it a bajillion times and made money on it and bonded it and so forth. But do they have a contract? They do not have a contract. It should have been done right there. I asked for the contract numerous times. They had no contract. They proceeded anyway. So again, doesn't fucking matter if you're right. They got the guns and badges. They'll do what the fuck they want. So don't think that you're gonna right. So when you start fooling around with quote unquote patriot stuff, or understanding that you might want to let them know that you're a living man and that you don't want to be a slave in their system and so forth, and that you're not going to acquiesce to giving them a portion of your labor and so forth. I haven't given them tax since 1998, not a dime. Well, that's not true. I paid sales tax and all that, but I mean the income tax, where you go through the whole thing and you self-assess and you fill out all these crazy forms and you send it into the IRS with a check. Yeah, the bankrupt corporation will take your check, but I haven't done that since 1998. Part of another reason why they're pissed at me. Anyway, and I suggest you pay any taxes you owe, but don't pay the taxes that you don't owe. Is that crazy talk? Apparently it is. Oh. Good evening, Crime Stopper. All right. And a fine evening to you too. Okay, let's see here. Oh, here's a couple of important ones that are in here. That I, Ben Hosea Rogers, am non-resident alien with regard to the United States. Okay. That I, Rogers Ben Hosea, have any wet ink signed contract with Maui Second Circuit Court. How about this? That I, Ben Hosea, am decedent. Do I look decedent to you? It seems to me that you'd have to be a pretty incompetent nincompoop boob to think that the living man that wrote this is a decedent that you have some kind of estate authority over, as in managing an estate or administering an estate, or getting into the trust where you are administering my estate for me because I'm dead or because I'm incompetent. So prove I'm decedent when I'm standing and reading to you. We're standing right here. That's kind of a big one right there. Let's see here. That I, Rogers Ben Hosea, am not the beneficiary of the Ben Hosea Rogers, Ben H. Rogers estates. That I, Ben Hosea Rogers, am an employee, officer, or dependent of Maui Second Circuit Court, County of Maui, State of Hawaii, or United States. I have documents that say otherwise. But see, if you have accepted benefits, they consider you to be a dependent, which makes you a citizen of the United States. By any means whatsoever is how you naturalize. However, they can trick you into naturalizing. I like Trump. I'm going to vote for Trump. Sign the document. Boom. Naturalized. You are now a U.S. citizen. Okay. Do they want me saying that to you? Do they want the guys that are going to the Trump rallies to hear this? Fuck no. They don't want the guys going to the Trump. No. Let's see here. Where else was I? That I'm not the beneficiary. Oh, that I'm in a okay. How about that I, Ben Hosea Rogers, have accepted the liability of the decedent? I haven't. That I, Ben Hosea Rogers, have not accepted your oath of office. Accepted. They don't have oaths of office, but I told him in court, one of the judges, actually both the judges, I accept your oath of office. And he just kind of smiled, actually, right? Okay. Except then when I asked him for an oath of office, he couldn't provide me a legitimate one. He provided me with a piece of paper, but it didn't have any kind of, it didn't match anything here that on that link that I put for you down there. No anti-bribery statement, no swearing in front of a notary. The only thing that piece of paper has is a notary that says that it's a copy of the original, but it doesn't have a notary that says that he's swearing under penalty of perjury, or they, or any of them. Details. What are you going to do about it? Go to their courts where all the other guys don't have oaths of office either, and they're all in on it? Is that where you're going to go? Or do we need to get the military involved? I'm going to put some claims in, but those claims are just for money. There's no quote unquote justice. There's not going to be any kind of punishment from them. I mean, in fact, they just print the money. What they don't care. Let's see here. That I, Ben Hosea, had any agency agreement with any attorney who entered any plea or who has taken any action on my behalf. Wait a minute. All right. What this is basically saying is I don't have an agency agreement. What's an agency agreement? For you and your attorney to represent you, you have to have agency. You're giving him agency, right? And you've heard of this in sports, free agents and so forth. What you're doing is giving agency to a person to represent you in court. So in order to do that, you have to have an agency agreement or some kind of agreement with the lawyer. I never signed an agreement with any lawyer ever, right? Where here's what you're going to get paid. Here's what I expect you to do. I gave him a letter of rogatory, but he didn't sign. So there is no contract there. We have not even the agency agreement where I signed and said, hey, I accept this guy to be my lawyer. That's neither here nor there. You want a lawyer. Okay. What else I got going on here? Pardon me. Okay, so let me read that again. That I, Rogers Ben Hosea, had any agency agreement with any attorney who entered any plea or who has taken any action or made any motion for Ben Hosea Rogers in all caps, Ben H. Rogers in all caps, or it in title case. Let's see. that you or any judge, attorney, clerk, or other concerned public servant is authorized to represent Ben Hosea Rogers, Ben H. Rogers, or etc. Right? Or you're authorized, absent written contract. Can you represent me without a contract? Can you? Maybe you can't. But you should probably prove that, and this is a demand for these proofs of claim. That you are not making any claims against my estates. I think they made some claims against my estates. Let's see here. That you have not filed IRS Form 211 claiming a voluntary gifted guarantee. Wait a minute. Guarantee. Wow, God, can't read English suddenly. Okay, sorry. That you have not filed IRS Form 211. Go look it up. Form 211. Claiming I voluntarily gifted you funds from any estate. That's the thing that actually annoyed several of my friends, is that the money they take from you in the bonds and in your court case, they consider those gifts. You gifted it to them. Who's responsible for the gift? Not them, you. So I'm letting them and the IRS know I didn't give these guys any gifts. They said I did, but I didn't. Because the gift has to be given voluntarily, not under duress. Okay. That you have not filed Form SSA 89 on my behalf. What's an SSA 89? I have it attached here, but go look up SSA 89. That's them using your Social Security number. How do they bond the case without your Social Security number? Did you give them permission to use your Social Security number? Oh, naughty. Because I bet you didn't. Let's see here. That I have given you my permission, or that you have any permission or authority to use the name Ben Hosea Rogers, Ben H. Rogers, or Ben, right? Got any authority to use my name? I got the copyright. They hate it when you copyright your name. Let's see here. Let's see here. That you are authorized to administer the estate, right? Absent consent or contract, and that you were, or that you are administering any tax, that I have given you any permission, or that I have, and see, that's what they're doing, they're taxing you. Anyway, that I have given you my permission, or that you have any permission to use my signature or mark or autograph. Because I guarantee you, they use your signature, mark, or autograph in ways that they can't tell you. Otherwise, it'd be a breach of trust. Right? These are just things to talk about and think about. Right? Don't ask for templates. Understand these concepts. Are you decedent? Are you the defendant? Where's the state of Hawaii? Where's the state that you're in? Where are you? Who are you? Are you in Washington, D.C.? Are you a corporation, or are you the living man? Are you on the public side or the private side? What kind of law are they administering? Are they doing maritime, admiralty? What are they doing? Common law? What's going on in there? You might want to ask questions. Asking questions does not create controversy. But nobody asks questions. Hey, got an oath of office? There's a simple question. I got a warrant. And by the way, do you have a warrant? Did you get an indictment? Did you convene a jury? Let's see here. That you have not used my signature or mark or autograph to create a bond or debenture or negotiable instrument or debt. Yes, they did. And they shouldn't have. Because they're using my signature without my knowledge. That's, I believe, called fraud, isn't it? That you are a qualified debt collector with regard to the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act at 15 USC. That you have not threatened violence or such as arrest or imprisonment if I do not pay your alleged debt in violation of the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act at 15 USC. You should respond immediately or as soon as you are able, claim by claim, point by point, under penalty of perjury, according to 28 USC 1746, where they're within the United States. But if a response is not received by me within 10 days, not including the day of receipt, verified notice of non-response and notice of default will be issued, allowing another 10 days for opportunity to cure any defect or non-response occurring through no fault of your own, such as late service by mail or courier. If still no response is received by me within that 22-day period, 10 days, not counting the day of receipt, a verified notice of default will issue. Okay, now, and I will consider this matter settled for failure to provide proof of identity, proof of claim, and therefore to state a claim upon, wait a minute, proof of identity and proof of claim, and therefore to state a claim which relief can be granted for failure to, and for failure to do required due diligence before stating such claims. You know, doing their due diligence, such as finding out if I'm a U.S. citizen, figuring out if they had the authority to claim my estate and administer it for me, etc. Right? They just assumed they had jurisdiction over me. They just assumed that I was a U.S. citizen. They just assumed that I was in D.C. I wasn't any of those things. All right. Upon failure to provide proof of claims, my signature or any court document, agreement, see attached, is hereby rescinded. Upon failure to provide proof of claim, respondents, i.e. Maui Second Circuit Court, or other employees of franchises of the United States, commonly called State of Hawaii, County of Maui, and Maui County or Maui Police Department, State of Hawaii Department of Public Safety, Sheriff Division, or Outtake Services are all acting under color of law, but not lawfully. I declare under penalty of perjury under the laws of the United States of America without the United States that the foregoing is true and correct, executed back in May in accordance with 28 U.S.C. 1746-1 and Mark 1019. Okay, what did I do with all that I just read you poorly? It's these sunglasses, actually, inside the house. It's gotten dark from the time I read this. It's no longer light outside. We are, 2 days past the shortest day of the year? What I'm doing is setting them up. Look, I gave you notice. I gave you a chance to respond. So when I make claims, I'm not making claims without having given them ample opportunity to defend themselves and to rebut and to show that they had qualified immunity and that they were acting lawfully and that I am dead and that and that they can administer my estate and that they can do this and that and they can fill forms out and that I gave them gifts and get it? Right? Okay, so in here is just a pile of evidence of notices, and so that when I make my claims, which are coming, they can't say, they can't clutch their pearls and be like, "Oh, we had no idea." Dude, I told you once, I told you twice, I told you 3 times. I sent it registered mail. You filed it. It's got right. This is notice to the world. In here, you'll see that that's why there's so many of them. That the other thing that I sent to them is in here. I'm looking on the corner for a stamp. Oops, right there. Oh, that's not it. Anyway, but I sent some of this is I had already sent to them. Oh, and notice my address is on the right. Where's my signature? My signature and the witnesses all on the right. Living man, not deader. All right, hold on one more second. Oh my gosh. Again, brief intermission. Couldn't find it. Okay, on to more mundane things. Or actually, before I get into that, let's do looking for more props. Let's do this. See, and it's also good for me because I remind myself what's already in the courts and what I need to do, because I still need to send them the verified default that they had more than ample opportunity to respond, and they never did, and they never will, because they can't make claims. They can't verify their claims. All right, in here is a set of documents. It's a copy of documents that I had already sent into the court. So the this filing in and of itself already has notice and opportunity to cure, because they've already gotten it twice. So, and some of these things they've gotten 3 times. So once again, and then here is the Minnesota name holder thing. You should find out about doing this. There's other videos that will tell you, but it tells you that, hey, I'm the name holder for Ben Hosea Rogers, right? I don't own the name. You guys created it, but I hold that name, and I am the source of that name. If I wasn't born, that name wouldn't exist. And then they stole the name, and then they turned around and bonded it. Okay, there you go. All right, so here, and I had a really nice clerk, and we're not going to mention her name, because she's like, dude, you can't just put this in. You got to do some other stuff. So anyway, she let me scribble right in front of her, and then she actually filed it. So see, this filing contains a filing, letting them know, right? And oh, look, notice. Oh, look, here, you should take a screenshot of that, kids, and go look them up. Tells them they're in trouble. Tells them that I have unalienable rights. Tells them that anything that's not in the Constitution is reserved for the people or the states. Tells them that they're domiciled in the 10 square miles of Washington, D.C. Tells them that if they don't do what they're supposed to do, they can get in trouble. Tells them, all right, it's full-on notice. And it doesn't cover the whole thing. It's just saying that, look, you're supposed to give me a Republican form of government. All right, so that notice, or that notice had already been filed, and I made it part of the other filing. There's the clerk, right? There's the signature for the clerk. There's the stamp, and I have the original documents. All right, and in that filing, all I did was tell them, hey, not U.S. citizen. Oh, and that you give me that Republican form of government. But see, equity doesn't help those that sleep on their rights, and apparently Americans slept on their rights. Tells them that I'm the name holder, and gives them a copy. Let's see here. Lets them know that they didn't sign anything, or they didn't sign their notices or orders, excuse me. Oh, ask for forgiveness. Oh, look, I hand wrote this. I'll read this to you. It's in my own writing. Look, I got my own fingerprint, everything on there. Okay. Please forgive me. I made a mistake. I am the living man, Rogers Ben Hosea, born living, and I give him my date, and it's all written out. Then I got to be able to read my own writing. Having attained, I tell them that I've attained the age of majority, and when I sometimes do business as Ben Hosea Rogers, Ben H. Rogers. Ben Hosea Rogers, Ben H. Rogers was created, and I give the creation date, right, that on the birth certificate. I, the man, Rogers Ben Hosea, am not the same person as the trade or business name, and then I put the all caps name. And I'm putting it there in writing. I apologize for the confusion, as I have mistakenly claimed to be the name but I am merely the name holder. I beg your pardon. Please forgive my sins and this trespass. Like it's my fault that that they're confused between the person that was born and the person that was birthed, right? This thing was born of a living woman. The thing in all caps, that was creation of man. That was created by certificate. That was created by documents. Your doctors are in on it, by the way. If you haven't figured that out by now, they are. Okay, and also in that filing, this is the first filing that I gave, because see, everything else got struck from I also let them know that I resigned as the authorized representative for that all caps name, and I gave them copies of the resignation letters that I sent to the 2 secretaries of states. And then what else is in this thing? What is this? Oh, that's the other resignation. Okay, so like I said, sent one to state of Hawaii, sent one to state of Illinois, where I was born. And these all have my signatures and witnesses and stamps on the back. And then I also gave them proof that I mailed them, right? The brief services, the green cards. So it's not just me. Post office is in on it. All right. And then further from the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services that I'm not a U.S. citizen. They have no record, and they should have done that before they ever, right? Because it's not like that just happened. I never was. Any other attempt to say that I was is fraud. I have never lived. I've never been a resident of Washington, D.C. Oh, see, in here. Okay, so this is, excuse me, resignation as registered agent for Illinois business entity, right? And that's just, again, giving them notice that I am a name holder. I'm not the name. One more time. It took me forever to figure this out. The name of the thing is not the same as the name, as the thing named. Simple as that. Oh, and then I just let them know that, yeah, here's that oath of office that doesn't qualify as an oath of office. And I sent those in there. And I gave that to them twice, by the way. All right. What I went to go get, which is a little more fun. Oh, and I have one more other thing I want to do while I'm fooling around. Get one of these. Oh my goodness, they work. I don't know who's selling them, but whoever's selling them is making a fortune or should be making a fortune. If you've got pets or animals, this thing just takes the hair off of you, and it absolutely works. And then you just rinse it off in water, and you're good. One time, save you money. You don't have to buy the ones where you peel it off. Okay, I'm going to read one more thing to you, and then we're going to quit for the evening. And it's not that. In fact, they're removing videos like crazy. Let's see here. Shoot, I even put a star on it so that I could find it easily. But let me just read you this, and I'll make comments as I go along. And I want to also say that you're never going to collect. I mean, you're never going to collect on this. It just doesn't happen. However, once you take it to small claims and go through the process where you get a default judgment against them, every other debt collector will think twice. Let's put it that way. All right, so let me just read you this. This is, and let's see how much of this how many problems you can find here. Uh-oh. Again, I can't find it quickly. What the hell? Oh, maybe I'll have to make that another video. Oh, look, the Minnesota Secretary of State sent me a letter. Yeah, I'm going to have to make it another video because suddenly I can't find it. That's strange. I need to respond to these guys. And you see, this is the thing. Bill collectors use that three-step system against you. What they do is they'll say, hey, you owe us this debt, and then you don't respond, and then you owe them the debt. It's pretty simple. So you need to respond and say, no, I don't owe you this debt. And if you say that I do, then you need to prove a claim and validate, not verify, that I owe the debt and that I have some contract or obligation to pay you. Because a lot of these guys buy the debt, and when they buy the debt, that's it. They bought it. They own it. You know, if they can collect it out of you and you send them a check, well, that's on you. And there's a ton of debt cancellation people on here, but I mean, I'm not going to do any kind of like templates or anything like that. Just understand the law. Start reading UCC. Understand UCC. What is it? Don't quote me because I'm quoting off the top of my head. I believe it's 3-603. If you give them an offer. Do I have this over here? Yes, I do. Should be here. Let me see if I can find that super fast and easy. Yeah, here it is. So if you understand the UCC, you know that if you give them a negotiable instrument and they don't accept it, it's UCC 3-603. It basically says if the tender is refused, there is discharge. Done. So if you offer them tender and they refuse it, this is legal tender right here. Probably they wouldn't refuse that. Well, they might refuse it because a lot of them say don't send cash in the mail. So they may have refused your tender, but then you can't prove it. But you could. Anyway, if you offer them tender and they don't accept your tender, the debt is discharged. Dun, 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 dun. So then you just send them 3 letters that say basically, hey, I already discharged this debt. Can you say that I didn't? And they're going to be able to say no. And I wanted to be able to read this to you. And I'll make another video next week sometime with just that and my response to this bill collector that this thing is ancient, like years old. It was, the company has gone bankrupt that they're trying to collect for. And yeah, they're not going to get paid. It's as simple as that. And I'm amazed. It has just disappeared. Only because I'm looking for it. As soon as I turn off the video, I'll find it. But anyway, I got a letter from a collection agency. And actually, it wasn't even a letter. It was an email. Apparently, this is a new thing. They're so freaking cheap that they won't even send a stamp or envelopes. They only send you an email. And so now they're doing the electronic. And then you got to look up the electronic laws when it comes to that. So their emails are considered signed. But anyway, they're trying to collect debt via email now. And the debt has already been discharged. It's not on my credit record. And what the hell are they doing? Well, if I send them a check, they'll collect the check. I have some friends wherein they have been being harassed, phone calls on their phone and text messages and all kind of stuff from these collectors because one of the parents died and they left some debt behind. Well, they did the same thing to me when my mother died. And I just sent them a simple letter that said, the debt was my mother's, not mine. Debt is not generational in the United States. And if you can prove that proof of claim that I owe you or that I'm obligated to pay you, send your proof of claim to me. Never heard a thing from any of those guys ever again. And it was a substantial amount of debt. It was, it wasn't like a couple of $100. It was 20, 40, I don't remember, something $1,000 when it came to all the different credit cards. And you just tell them, no, I'm not paying you. Simple as that. Wow, how did that disappear? I didn't respond to it, and I didn't put it in a folder, and I start it so that I can find it easily and read it to you guys. Anyhow, it's a bullshit letter that basically says, hey, pay us. We bought this debt for pennies on the dollar, and we know it's already discharged and everything, but we're going to try and collect money from you, okay? And the answer is no, it's not okay. But if you don't answer within 30 days, your silence agrees that you actually owe them a debt, right? Because they'll do the same thing. They'll send it to you 3 times. And then when you don't respond, your silence agrees with them. And see, you're acting like a child when you sit there and you're getting scoldings and you don't respond, right? You just sit there like this, mute, right? Well, that kind of sort of means you did it, right? Or whatever you're being accused of, or that you owe the debt. So what you ought to do is tell them, excuse me, I do not owe the debt. All right, I can't find it. So we're going to call it a day here after 2 hours and 30 minutes. Thanks for all the likes. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. The news, I've been rambling, but it's dire. Get your shit together. Be ready for what comes if you're in the 48. Particularly if you're in a Democrat state or a Democrat-run city. Abbott is sending people by bus to you. Any one of those guys, are arms and munitions easy to get in the United States? I mean, they were putting boxes of rocks for the rioters. And I've heard, I can't confirm, by the way, because it's just heard, and I heard this in jail also. In certain places, guns just show up. Yeah, you can just walk into an alleyway and what's this? A box of guns? Nobody's around? I think I'll take one, or all of them, or apparently that's happening in a lot of cities in the United States. So get ready. And then just hope nothing happens. Hope that this is complete hokum and fear porn and that nothing happens, but better safe than sorry. So food, water, some kind of currency that you can spend. And apparently these are going to be the ones you're going to want, like 100 of these as part of your prepper package. You want these guys, but you want them in smaller denominations. Even these are too big. Get dimes. These are quarters. Get some dimes. And don't store them at your house. And get ready for a heck of a year. We're coming up. I'll try to make one video before the end of the year, between now and New Year's. But in the meantime, Melikalikimaka, Iho'olemakihikiho. I hope you have a Merry Christmas. Lots and lots of prayers, because right now, many bad things are happening. And I will talk to you guys soon. So just pray. And I mean, this is on a spiritual level. So prayers actually do make a difference. And we'll talk again soon. Like I said, I'll try and find that one letter and my response to it. And we'll talk to you guys next week. And if not, it'll be the new year, because it's only a little ways away. Christmas Eve. And then tomorrow is actually Christmas Eve and the Christmas dinners. And then Christmas Day. I'm actually going to be playing Math Christmas Day. And then that week will fly by. And suddenly it's New Year's. And such a crappy New Year's this year. Right? But I don't think I'm going to be going out anyway. But it's not a weekend New Year's; it's the beginning of the week New Year's, and then it is the New Year. And I think there's some shit that's going to be happening. We'll talk a little bit more about why I expect this thing to go. I'm in the camp, kind of sorted with Bix Rear, although Bix has been. He makes noise about Bill Pony. Hey Bix, where's the $600 silver? Hey Bix, where's the $300? Oh shoot, what was it? It was Theta, right? Sea Fuel and Theta was supposed to hit 300. Nope, it got to 15 from a nickel. That's freaking awesome returns. But then it crashed back down. And when Theta was down at 50 cents, oh my God. I hope you guys bought some Theta, because that was a no-brainer, one bagger, easy, and it has. Actually, let's take a look just for fun before I sign off. What is the price of Theta? The price of Theta right now, today, as we speak, is $1.16. So even if you bought it at $1, you already are at a 16% return. So if you waited to get, and it was higher than that. It's gone down since then. Anyway, the point being is that there's going to be tons of opportunity, even though it's going to be a crazy, crazy year. Again, I expect things to get a little warm. So be ready for it to get hot. And the best way to prepare is now. when stuff is easily and readily available, not when the shit hits the fan. But meantime, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and take it easy, Crime Stoppers. E pluribus unum. We're going to get through this. I'm telling you, the other side of this, awesome tech, but it won't be for everybody because not everybody's going to make it. Simple as that. All right. We'll talk to you later. Merry Christmas.